Hello, hello, hello. This is TCFL Central. This is Gary. We're running episode, let's see, let's call it 1B, Baker. That means that we'll be playing the second game of the first round, which is James Madison at Oregon. And of course, this is a special presentation of the 2025 uh, college football playoffs. Episode 1A was Alabama knocking off Oklahoma 31 to 27. If you want to take a look at that game, just go back to the episode 1A. So let's go ahead and get this game started. And we're running the computer on both offense and defense, but we will play regular, which means it will be video. Set the lineups. Here's your starting lineups for James Madison, Oregon. Alonzo Correction, James Madison, quarterback. Dante Moore, quarterbacking Oregon. Play.
Welcome to Autzen Stadium. James Madison against Oregon. For a first-round playoff game. Here's the kick from Hurick.
Okay, and we'll let our play-by-play announcer take over. We'll be back after the game for the stats.
The kick from Hurick is returned 6 yards by Knight. Jackson on the tackle. Barnett from the shotgun. Barnett on the carry, gain of 3, Tuiutai on the tackle. Knight with a 1-yard run, Washington on the tackle. 3rd and 6. Barnett at the line. Barnett is sacked by Mixon, loss of 5. REA back in punt formation. "44-yard punt by REA, fair catch by Benson. 1st and 10 from the 35. Moore on the sweep, gain of 12, Brown on the tackle, 1st down. Moore to Sadiq, gain of 10, Thomas on the tackle, 1st down. Moore passes to Bryant, incomplete, Culp on the coverage. 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation. Moore calling the signals. Moore to Benson, incomplete, Barksdale on the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 43. James Madison showing blitz. Moore completes the pass to Sadiq, gain of 4, Thomas on the tackle, Ferguson Reynolds to punt. 31-yard punt by Ferguson Reynolds, out of bounds.
False start. Offense. Repeat 1st down.
1st and 14 from the 4. Barnett in the shotgun. Barnett hollers out the signals. Barnett on the carry, gain of 1, Uyagale on the tackle. Barnett on the carry, gain of 12, Abidegwu on the tackle. 3rd and 1. 6-yard run by Barnett, Bercher with the tackle, first down. Barnett changing the play. Knight with a 3-yard run, Alexander on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Barnett is sacked by Washington, loss of 8. 3rd and 15 from the 18. Barnett is sacked by Finney, loss of 1. REA back in punt formation. A 24-yard punt by REA, out of bounds. Whittington with a gain of 3 on the play, West on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Moore in the shotgun. Moore throws incomplete to Sadiq, Thomas with the coverage. 3rd and 7 from the 38. Moore to Benson, incomplete, Barksdale on the coverage, Ferguson Reynolds to punt. A 38-yard punt by Ferguson Reynolds, touchback. Shotgun formation. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Barnett. Barnett completes the pass to Deacon Narrow, gain of 8, Abidegu on the tackle.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
2nd and 2 from the 28. Knight gains 2 on the draw, Uyagale on the stop, first down. 1st and 10. Barnett on the sweep, gain of 2, Washington on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Barnett to Ellis, incomplete, Finney with the coverage. 3rd and 8. Barnett on the sweep, gain of 34, Tieneman on the stop, first down. Barnett is sacked by Mixon, loss of 1. 2nd and 11 from the 35. Oregon showing blitz. Knight on the carry, gain of 30, Tieneman on the tackle, first down. 1st and goal from the 5. Barnett on the carry, touchdown James Madison. Suarez converts the extra point, James Madison 7, or the kick from Rosa. The kick from Rosa is returned 40 yards by Hill, Dye on the tackle. Moore throws incomplete to Moore, Eaglin on the coverage.
Personal foul. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
James Madison showing blitz. Whittington on the carry, gain of 8, Brown on the tackle. Moore in the shotgun. Moore at the line. Moore completes the pass to Sadiq, gain of 10, Thomas on the tackle, first down. 4-yard run by Moore, Lockett with the tackle. Moore on the carry, touchdown Oregon. Sappington converts the extra point, James Madison 7, here's the kick from Hurick. The kick from Hurick is returned 17 yards by Harris Lopez, Woodyard on the tackle. Barnett from the shotgun. Oregon showing blitz. Barnett with a 3-yard run, Tieneman on the tackle. 2nd and 7 at the 19. Knight the ball carrier, 3-yard gain, Flowers with the tackle. 3rd and 4. Barnett completes the pass to Knight, gain of 4, Mixon on the stop, first down. REA deep in punt formation. "43-yard punt by REA, no return. Whittington on the carry, 15-yard gain, Barksdale with the tackle, first down. "6-yard run by Whittington, Lockett with the tackle. 2nd and 4 at the 48. Moore from the shotgun. Moore is sacked by Bush, loss of 7. 3rd and 11 from the 45. Moore passes to Benson, gain of 9, Barksdale on the tackle. 4th and 2 from the 46. Moore completes the pass to Moore, gain of 10, Eaglin on the tackle, first down. Oregon breaks the huddle. Moore to Sadiq, touchdown Oregon. Sappington converts the extra point, Oregon 14, here's the kick from Hurick. Shotgun. Oregon showing blitz. Knight on the carry, gain of 4, Tuiutai on the tackle. Timeout, Oregon. Barnett throws incomplete to Knight. James Madison breaks the huddle. 3rd and 6. Barnett at the line. Barnett throws incomplete to Knight, Bercher on the coverage. REA deep in punt formation. "35-yard punt by REA, 17-yard return by Benson. 1st and 10. Moore passes to Bryant, gain of 9, Culp on the tackle. Moore from the shotgun. Whittington on the carry, gain of 11, Spinogatti on the tackle, first down. Moore is intercepted by Eaglin, return of 0. 1st and 10. Barnett in the shotgun. Barnett is sacked by Bercher, loss of 9. Barnett to Dipper, gain of 9, Tieneman with the tackle. 3rd and 10 at the 12. Barnett at the line. Barnett completes the pass to Sanchez, gain of 13, Canady on the tackle, 1st down. Knight on the carry, 4-yard gain, Uyagale on the tackle. 2nd and 6. Some confusion on the defense. Timeout, Oregon. James Madison down by 7. Barnett throws incomplete to Ellis, Finney on the coverage. 2nd and goal. Barnett at the line. Mallory on the carry, touchdown James Madison. Suarez converts the extra point, James Madison 14, here's the kick from Rosa. The kick from Rosa is returned 30 yards by Whittington, Barksdale on the stop. Moore with a gain of 11 on the play, Weathersby with the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 44. They're in a hurry up. Shotgun. "15-yard gain by Moore, Hendrick on the tackle, 1st down. Hurry up. Moore to Sadiq, incomplete, 2-minute warning. Tie score. Moore completes the pass to Whittington, no gain, Weathersby with the tackle. 3rd and 10. Moore is intercepted by Brown, return of 29. Shotgun formation. Barnett calls out the signals. Barnett to DeGennaro, gain of 9, Abidegwu on the tackle. James Madison hustling to the line. Barnett completes the pass to DeGennaro, gain of 9, Abidegwu on the tackle, hurry up offense. Fuller on the carry, no gain, Mixon on the tackle. Barnett to Dipper, gain of 8, Tieneman on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 9. 0:56 in the second. Mallory on the carry, touchdown James Madison. Suarez converts the extra point, James Madison 21, here's the kick from Rosa. The kick from Rosa is returned 30 yards by Hill, Barksdale with the tackle. Oregon down by 7. Shotgun formation. Moore completes the pass to Sadiq, gain of 28, Thomas on the tackle, 1st down, Oregon down by 7. 1st and 10. Moore completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 10, Barksdale with the tackle. 2nd and inches. Whittington on the carry, gain of 10, Brown on the tackle, 1st down. Moore completes the pass to Sadiq, gain of 9, Thomas on the tackle. 27-yard try for Sappington. Sappington is good from 27, James Madison 21, here's the kick from Hurick. Squib kick. The kick from Hurick is returned 5 yards by Leonard, Jackson on the tackle. From the shotgun. Barnett going through the signals now. Barnett to Sanchez, incomplete, Canady on the coverage, the kick from Rosa. The kick from Rosa is returned 24 yards by Hill, Iziogu on the stop. Whittington the ball carrier, gain of 14, Hendrick on the tackle, first down. Moore on the reverse, gain of 9, Thomas on the tackle. 2nd and 1 from the 47. Shotgun. Moore on the carry, gain of 7, Hendrick on the stop, first down. 1st and 10 from the 40. Moore calling signals. Whittington with a gain of 15 on the play, Weathersby on the tackle, first down. Oregon down by 4. Whittington the ball carrier, 15-yard gain, Weathersby on the tackle, first down. Moore throws incomplete to Benson, Barksdale on the coverage. 2nd and goal. Moore barks out the signals. Moore completes the pass to Sadiq, touchdown Oregon. Sappington converts the extra point, Oregon 24. The kick from Hurick. The kick from Hurick is returned 27 yards by Knight, Woodyard on the tackle. Barnett in the shotgun. Knight with the carry, gain of 4, Uyagale on the tackle. Dipper with the carry, gain of 20, Flowers on the tackle, first down. Knight with a 7-yard run, Flowers on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 27. Barnett calls out the signals. Barnett throws incomplete to Sanchez. James Madison breaks the huddle. 3rd and 3. Barnett throws incomplete to Sanchez, Canady on the coverage. 45-yard attempt for Suarez. Clean snap from Kennard. Suarez missed the 45-yard kick. James Madison faking blitz. Whittington with a gain of 13 on the play, Thomas on the tackle, first down. Doubling Moore at the line. Moore calling signals. Moore on the carry, gain of 1, Bush on the tackle. 2nd and 9. Shotgun formation. Moore with the pass to Moore, touchdown Oregon. Sappington makes the extra point, Oregon 31, the kick from Hurick. The kick from Hurick is returned 13 yards by Harris Lopez, Woodyard with the tackle. Shotgun. Oregon showing blitz. Barnett on the draw, no gain, Tuiutai with the tackle. 2nd and 10 at the 23. Knight the ball carrier, 3-yard gain, Tien Eman on the tackle. 3rd and 7 from the 26. Barnett to Knight, incomplete, Bercher on the coverage. REA from punt formation. "27-yard punt by REA, out of bounds. 1st and 10 from the 47. James Madison showing blitz. More calling signals. "14-yard run by Whittington, Culp on the tackle, 1st down. "12-yard run by Moore, Weathersby on the tackle, 1st down. Oregon breaks the huddle. Moore at the line. Whittington with a gain of 14 on the play, Brown with the tackle, 1st down. Moore calls out the signals. "1-yard gain by Davison, West on the tackle.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
2nd and 14 from the 17. Moore passes to Benson, incomplete, Barksdale on the
Intentional
coverage.
grounding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
3rd and 24. Moore calls out the signals. Moore to Benson, touchdown Oregon.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense. 15-yard penalty.
Sappington makes the extra point, Oregon 38, James the kick from Hurick. Barnett in the shotgun. Barnett calls the signals. Fuller on the sweep, gain of 5, Uyagale on the stop. Knight on the carry, gain of 11, Flowers on the tackle, 1st down. Barnett calls out the signals. Fuller the ball carrier, 2-yard gain, Bercher with the tackle. 2nd and 8. Barnett the ball carrier, gain of 8, Tuiutai on the stop, 1st down. End of the 3rd quarter, Oregon 38, James Madison 21. "16-yard gain by Wyleski, Tien Eman on the tackle, 1st down. James Madison down 17. Barnett throws incomplete to Knight, Bercher with the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Barnett completes the pass to Ellis, no gain, Finney on the tackle. 3rd and 10 at the 33. Barnett to Knight, incomplete. 4th and 10 from the 33. Barnett calling signals. Barnett passes to Knight, gain of 3, Flowers on the tackle. Moore calls out the signals. Three-yard run by Whittington, Hendrick with the tackle. Oregon working slowly. Davison the ball carrier, 20-yard gain, Thomas on the tackle, first down, Oregon taking their time. Moore to Sadiq, gain of 5, Thomas on the tackle. Moore taking his time. Limar with the carry, gain of 6, Weathersby with the tackle, first down. Whittington on the pitch, touchdown Oregon. Sappington converts the extra point, Oregon 45, here's the kick from Hurick. The kick from Hurick is returned 8 yards by Knight, Jackson on the tackle. Shotgun. Knight with a gain of 10 on the play, Tien Eman with the tackle, first down. Barnett completes the pass to Sanchez, gain of 10, Canady with the tackle, first and 10. Knight with the carry, no gain, Alexander on the tackle. James Madison down by 24. Barnett to Ellis, incomplete. 3rd and 10. Barnett at the line. Barnett is sacked by Purchase, loss of 5. REA back in punt formation. .33-yard punt by REA, no return.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
REA back in punt formation. .44-yard punt by REA, fair catch by Benson. Moore calls out the signals. .15-yard gain by Whittington, Hendrick with the tackle, first down. Moore slow to the line. Davison on the carry, gain of 5, Bush on the tackle.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty.
Oregon ahead by 24. First and 20. Moore the ball carrier, no gain, Hendrick on the tackle. 2nd and 20. Slow down offense. Moore with the pass to Whittington, gain of 4, Hendrick on the tackle. 3rd and 16 from the 22. Oregon in no hurry. Moore passes to Bryant, gain of 1, Culp on the tackle, Ferguson Reynolds to punt. 47-yard punt by Ferguson Reynolds, return of 2 by Knight. Shotgun. Barnett to Sanchez, gain of 14, Canady on the stop, first down, James Madison down by 24. Barnett with the pass to Sanchez, incomplete, Canady on the coverage. Barnett changing the play. Barnett completes the pass to Ellis, 33-yard gain, Tieneman on the tackle, first down.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first.
Barnett throws incomplete to Ellis.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Automatic first down.
Barnett passes to Sanchez, touchdown James Madison. Suarez converts the extra point, Oregon 45, James Madison 28. Rosa with the kick. Onside kick recovered by Oregon. First and 10. Three-yard run by Whittington, Culp on the tackle. Second and 7. Whittington on the carry, gain of 8, West on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Moore with a gain of 5 on the play, Lockett on the stop. Two-minute warning. Oregon by 17. Second and 5 at the 36. 2 o'clock left in the game. Whittington on the carry, loss of 1, Thomas on the tackle. Third and 6. Moore calling signals. Five-yard run by Moore, Spinogatti with the tackle. Fourth and 1 from the 32. Whittington the ball carrier, no gain, Lockett with the tackle. James Madison trailing by 17. Shotgun. Barnett passes to Knight, gain of 1, Bercher on the tackle. Second and 9 at the 33. Barnett to Ellis, incomplete, Finney on the coverage. James Madison trailing by 17. Third and 9 from the 33. Barnett passes to Ellis, incomplete, Finney on the coverage. Barnett completes the pass to Sanchez, loss of 2, Canady on the stop. Oregon 45, James Madison 28.
Okay, that's it from Oregon. Oregon rolls over James Madison 45-28. Okay, here's the stats. You see it was a pretty close game at halftime. James Madison actually had a lead at 21-17, and Oregon kind of took over in the second half. Let's see. Passing wise, not much there for James Madison, 1 touchdown. Had 4 touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions. Rushing, wow, look at winning to 200 yards. Hard net for James Madison even broke 100 yards. 61 yards. Long game for Barrett and 1 touchdown. Look at Valerie had 2 touchdowns. And then Moore, the quarterback, nearly broke 100 himself. Looking at 323 yards. It was the 556 yards for Oregon. James Madison did pick up 382 themselves. So Oregon defense really didn't do a whole lot other than keeping them from scoring 40 points. Okay, there's your play-by-play. And those lineups, and we'll get back to the beginning. I guess I'm gonna have to look up how in the world do you, once you pause a game that's being played with 2 computer coaches to get it back to be played with 2 computer coaches. Well, anyway, there's your final score again. Oregon moves on and will play Texas Tech in the quarterfinals. So that's it from TCFL Central here at Oregon. This is Gary signing off. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh yeah, and then episode 1C will have Miami playing at Texas A&M. Good night.